Hello, today I will be talking about Reading Pop Cultures Chapter 3 based off technology and the Rhetorical Analysis Chapter 8 Challenges Arising from the Audience. So in the first article represented is Sawvall's Wall of Sound, the iPod has changed the way we listen to music. And one of the things that progresses throughout the entire article is how music is listened to. Before it starts, he starts off by saying that music used to be listened to through if you had the opportunity to listen to it in person. You had to pay for it in person. But as technology advanced, we got the record player, then we got the Walkman, and now to the point of the iPod, where everybody has access to millions of songs, whether they download it by purchasing it, or we know that some people just get it illegally by streaming it on from their computer onto their devices. And the thing is, it makes people with such an access to such technology, it makes people close off in their own world. So say cafe can be playing music at the same time that one is listening to music because they're enclosing themselves into a bubble. They're listening to the music without really listening to it. So in the end, since they assume they're listening to music, they stop interacting with people around them. And that's when as said by the rhetorical analysis the topic in the rhetorical analysis is challenges. And basically this challenge is how technology is making people, especially with music, more secluded within themselves. They want to be within their own world and their own mentality of music. It's become indispensable. One cannot go on without having an earphones on. It's become to the point where you can't leave the house without it. You can't never have them around because you always have an opportunity to listen to them on the bus, in the car ride, walking even. One will listen to music while they're walking to avoid social interaction. And that's one of the challenges arising with such technology with music, that everybody's closing themselves off. And Postman's The Judgment of Famous, one of the technologies is that the idea of that technology can be both a burden and a blessing. Like a burden because there's so much of it, there's so much to comprehend, and one will not always understand it. But it's also a blessing because it's advancing our knowledge. It's helping us get other resources that we wouldn't have had before. But at the same time, it's making things more complicated for people, since say this technology helps the job in a certain way. What's gonna happen to people that already have the job and the technology is replacing it? The thing is, we can't have never too little, but we can never have too much. There has to be a balance, but somehow we always end up with too much of everything. And it could change meanings. Technology, what you say used to be as a way to communication. Communication before was speaking. Technology advanced to the phone. Speaking through a device. Now with cell phones, we're texting, we're speaking, we're video calling. That's our form of communication. It's bringing a change as time progresses. And that's one of the challenges, because you're trying to convince in this article you're trying to convince an audience that yes, it's both a good thing and a bad thing, but one can never know for certain depending on the situation of the person. So in that case, because the rhetorical analysis says challenges can either be too hard to convince a person with the argument, or it can make them understand the argument even easier if they're in support of what the author is saying. In this case, is saying yes, let's look into both perspectives of what technology can provide. And in Shirky's Gin Television and Social Surplus, again, a surplus of something will always leave people confused. What to handle, what to not handle. Is this correct? Is this wrong? This is basically the same idea that we need to find a way to handle. We need to find a way to make sure there's a balance before we overuse technology without really needing to use it, or we're too reliant on technology. And in Blair's article, Love the One You're Near, one of the technology is targeting dating. Or with computers, when it was commonly more in computers, there was online dating websites where you had to pay for a subscription, but it helped you talk with people online. And now it's accessibility through our phones, like Tinder, Bumble, Grindr, other different applications. It's changing the way one used to date. Instead of looking for somebody socially, one's relying on their phone. Not to say that's a bad thing. Yes, it's making it harder for people to open their circle to people outside, because with online dating, you're looking at a screen and you're saying yes, no, just through looks and the small biography. And even then, even if you say you do in their situation match with a person, you're not always going to end up talking to them. You're going to just keep on doing the game of going left and right, left and right. You're not really talking to the person unless a person makes a move. But then again, text is always going to be different than actual conversation. That's another thing too. But the thing is, it's also good because it gives a person practice in a way, because what if they're too scared to talk online? But then again, that's a challenge everyone's going to have to face. Because in this case, the challenge that's arising is how to communicate when it comes to dating. How to really, is it safe to rely everything looking for a partner in person, or looking for someone online and then expecting it to happen, or what you never know what to expect. So that's really the challenge that the audience is going to see, because some audiences are not going to be used to using their phones. Some audiences might prefer having to date just meeting people in person, actually face to face, or some people are more comfortable meeting online. In this case, summing it all up, due to like all the technology that's coming up in different forms and different targets, there's always going to be challenges, from age groups to how people are in their personalities, introverted, extroverted, to how people are going to handle these new changes. There's always going to be challenges. But the thing is, we need to introduce both sides of the argument, just as some of these authors did in their articles.